It's dangerous to go alone. Take this episode of the Game Club Pod with you. Welcome heroes, sages, and people who've smashed every pot in a stranger's house just to see what's inside. Today we're stepping through time, space, and several confusing timelines to celebrate 40 years of the Legend of Zelda. 4 decades of history, dungeons, and repeatedly rescuing the same princess from the same guy who just won't take the hint. From 8-bit beginnings where Link doesn't even know how to look forward to sprawling open worlds where you can ignore the main quest for 200 hours because hey, there's a cool mountain over there. The series has taught us some incredible life lessons like silence is a personality, chickens are not to be trusted, and if an old man tells you to take a sword, you do it, no questions asked. Over the years we've heard words that echo through games history, like,
"Hey, listen!"
You've met a terrible fate, haven't you? Courage need not be remembered, and of course, the timeless classic. So whether you've started your journey in Hyrule, Termina, the Great Sea, the Twilight Realm, or even on Sky Island after falling for 10 minutes straight, this episode is for you. We're taking the legacy, the lore, the music that lives rent-free in our head, and why, after 40 years, the real final boss is trying to explain the timeline. So grab your Master Sword, tune your ocarina, and remember, the flow of time is always cruel. But anniversaries, those are legendary. Because, in honour of this legendary anniversary, we decided, in typical Game Club Pod fashion, not to focus on the masterpieces, not the groundbreaking design, not the unforgettable music, and not even the Master Sword. No, to celebrate, we played Zelda, Wand of Gamelon. That's right.
Oh boy, I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorok!
And somehow it feels like the most fitting way to celebrate this incredible series in Game Club Pod fashion. So buckle up, this is our tribute to Zelda's 40th anniversary, and we are so sorry.
Happy 40th anniversary. Here's something you'd probably rather forget, Zelda.
You've totally ruined my flow there, Tim.
Oh, no, it's a beautiful intro, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Game Club Pod, people. I am your host today, Joey. I'm joined, as ever, by the wonderful Alex.
Hello.
And the, all right Tim.
Yeah, I'm all right.
He's all
You're
right.
all right,
How
Tim.
are you guys? How are you doing, gentlemen?
As I've said before, I'm all right.
As predisposed, I am.
Please see
okay.
above, as per my last email.
And how are you, Alex?
Getting on.
It's that level of enthusiasm that I really want you to bring to the podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry, you wanted enthusiasm for this?
Yes, come on, let's do it. Let's do enthusiastic, boys. Let's try that again. Tim, how are you?
Good. That's a reference to what we've played earlier.
Right. Alex, how are you?
I am a gremlin creature drawn in MS Paint. That's how good I am.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. We are going to talk about Wand of Gamelon. 2 days ago, at time of release, on the 21st of February, The Legend of Zelda was born. It absolutely modernised gaming, changed the landscape. It made Game Boys...
And
girls. It had
And Game Girls.
And Game Girls. It had a golden fucking cartridge. A golden box for a golden game. And I believe, from listening to our friends over at Gaming Views cover this, they actually made it so that you could see the game cartridge on the outside of the box. So they cut a window into the box so that you could see it and go, bloody hell, it's gold. Look how fantastic this is. So we are going to talk about the masterpiece that is Wand of Gamelon. I do want to know, guys, what are your top Zelda memories?
Ooh.
Favourite memories from the franchise?
What? I mean, going all Sam Fisher Solid Snake stealth mode through Gerudo Temple or the Gerudo Fortress is pretty elite in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
What else?
Do you need a few minutes, Tim? Because I've got.
You got some ready to go?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I am not a Legend of Zelda person, so I haven't got any.
Great. So
Like,
what after those few
genuinely-
minutes?
Well, I'll try and pad it out a bit. I'll do my best. Genuinely, this is the first Zelda game that I've played.
What an intro.
I've played. Obviously, you know, when you go around your friend's house as a kid, you play a little bit of their game. So I've played a little bit of like Majora's Mask or some other older. I nearly said Mario's, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Zelda. Older Zelda games. But I was very much a Sonic kid growing up. I liked my funny little blue hedgehog, and I didn't really care about the boy in the green cape.
Oh no! And this was your intro. God, I'm so sorry, Tim. Have you thought about what you wanted to say?
I've got one more.
Go on, let's do it.
Which is the first time I saw a dragon in Breath of the Wild. We talked about in on our Breath of the Wild episode, which I think was episode 100. I think of the Game Club Pod.
It wasn't. We did. It was not.
Was it not that?
Far.
I thought it was.
No.
Oh,
We did. I mean, it might be in episode 100 overall, but of mainline, it's way down there because we did a whole Zelda month.
Oh yeah, but like the whole thing with Breath of the Wild, and we said it in the episode, is that it's been a long time since a game has filled us with a sense of wonder like Breath of the Wild did. And I can remember the first time very distinctly being stood out on a hill and watching a dragon come over the horizon over Lake Hylia, and I was just like, "Holy shit! All right."
So Tim, that just to really date that episode 9. That
Wow.
was. Not 100. No,
Not 100, no.
Not even 10.
Tim, which Legend of Zeldas have you played? Because we know that
Oh my
Alex is a
God.
massive fan of Wand of Gamelon because it's the only one he played. So he has to put that top of his tier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, by default.
Zelda 1, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS, by the way, really good and underrated game. Definitely play it if you get the chance. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. It's the one about the seasons on the Game Boy Color, I think it was on. I've played the Wind Waker. I've played the Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess. I've played a lot of Zelda in my
Nice.
time. What about you,
nice.
Joey? What's your Zelda memories?
So Ocarina of Time, we've spoken about it. We did a whole episode on Ocarina of Time. At the time, it was one of my favourite games. I think we played it through to death, probably 10 plus times. And I think my favourite memory is that first time that you pull out the Master Sword and you turn into adult Link, and it's so unexpected, and you leave the cathedral in Hyrule, and it's gone from this like happy-go-lucky playing happy town to everyone is dead, and it's just like, oh my god, it's just massive. That's mine. In terms of my experience with Zelda, I think I've played most of what you have, Tim. But Ocarina of Time was the first one, and then I went back and played a lot of the Game Boy games. We had, is it the what's the one that's the big egg?
The Link's Awakening game.
Link's Awakening. We played that to death.
That whole game's really weird.
Link to the Twilight Princess, sorry, is one that I really wanted to get into, but we never got it on the Wii, and I don't know why. Because I would have played it to death. But
Oh,
we
I've also
didn't.
played Skyward Sword. Don't rate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not great.
But Breath of the Wild was one of the latest kind of modern classic games, I think. Breath of the Wild, absolutely unbelievable. Tears of the Kingdom, big fat meh. But, you know, Zelda is a very, 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 very strong franchise. But, guys, a team is only as good as its weakest link. The chain will break if there is weak links, and boy howdy, have we chosen a weak link to talk about this time.
At what point in the round do we bank?
Now.
Bank.
Nothing. Still nothing.
Damn,
There is
no money.
Sorry.
That's a weakest link reference for our American contingents.
The Americans have the weakest link.
Do they?
Yeah.
Not with
I've
Ann
seen
Robinson.
WWE stars doing the weakest link.
Yeah, that was with Ann Robinson, though.
We're doing that thing again when we don't like a game, so we talk about literally anything else. So Ann Robinson and the weakest link gets a mention.
Contrary to popular belief, or contrary to belief, rather, for this episode, and spoilers for my thoughts, I actually had kind of a good time with this game.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. So, Wand of Gamelon. It was released on the Philips CDI, which we all have.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, we've got one of them. It was released in 1993. So this game is a year younger than Tim.
Mm-hmm.
It's a side-scroller Zelda, but not the first side-scroller Zelda, and not the only Zelda on the Philips CDI. I can't remember the name. Faces of Evil was the other one.
Yeah.
And I think it's equally bad, but Wand of Gamelon is the one that gets all of the plaudits for being the worst Zelda game ever made.
So Link and the Faces of Evil and Zelda and the Wand of Gamelon were meant to be like a pair of games released together. There was supposed to be a third, because this was to go into Nintendo history. The original thing with the CDI was it was supposed to be a product that was made in partnership with Sony, and then it was either Sony or Nintendo pulled the rug out from one under the other, and Nintendo had to scramble to find a partner for this new hardware that they were peddling, and Philips said they would do it. And so there's this new hardware, new games that are meant to be coming out within the next few months. So very limited time, very limited budget, and a hell of a lot of outsourcing resulted in the Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamelon.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because it's the first non-Nintendo Zelda. One of two. They never did it again. I wonder why. It was developed by Animation Magic and published by Philips Interactive Media. Now, Philips are still going somehow. It is the first, and I don't think it is the only, Legend of Zelda game where you actually play as Princess Zelda rather than Link. There is others, isn't there?
There's more, yeah. There's one that came out on the Switch that didn't do very well, but it was built in the same engine as the Link's Awakening remake, so it's got like a cutesy art direction. And there's another one where you do it, but I don't remember what it is.
Okay, cool. So in my fact sheet, I have the art style is Western style cartoon animation with hand drawn cutscenes. Boy, howdy, you can tell. So, guys, let's get on to... We would normally do awards here, critical reception, but this was panned across the board. It has no awards. Kel Surprise.
No.
And, yeah, people thought it was bad. So, I'm going to go to Alex. What did you think of your first ever Zelda experience?
That's mad. That's your first ever Zelda one.
It is a good thing that I've seen Zelda stuff in the past and I know of the series. Because if this was the introduction that I got to the Zelda series entirely, like, fresh coat, this is Zelda, I would wonder how it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Because this, I don't want to say it's the worst thing I've ever played, but by God, they better hope that the worst game ever doesn't get deleted. Because this was something else. It was... I'm not the biggest platformer fan in the world, but, you know, I'm not hugely against them. But this was, like, generally, in a good platform, you can tell what platforms are walkable. Or what is interactable and what is set piece, and what's background. This, they're all merged into one fucking layer, so you don't know if what you're jumping at is part of the background or something that you can walk on. The hitboxes for enemies are questionable at best. The music will haunt my dreams forever. It wasn't good, Joey. It wasn't good. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't good, and it was repetitive as all sin. What else can I say? The voice acting, oh boy. Oh no! I think I sent you a screenshot of one of the bits where it was like, "What don't you want to drink the milk or something like that?"
She needed an Aragos egg.
I'd do anything for an Arpagos egg.
Yeah,
That's it.
An asparagus egg.
But it
was meant to be a child, by the way.
Yeah, and it was just like, I'd do anything. It's like, oh, no. Go away.
Okay.
And it's like at one point, you're in the shop buying stuff and you run out of money. It's like, Zelda, you've not got any rubies. It's like, oh my god, what is going on? Who's this old wizard man with a till? Because it's not the same guy that's in the shop.
No, it's it's not. Sorry, carry on, Alex.
It was an experience. It does not make me want to go and play Zelda, that's for sure. Especially early 2000s Zelda, or late 90s Zelda. Early 90s? When was it?
93.
So this was 93, this was.
Yeah, I don't want to play early Zelda.
I would genuinely say, and I know that, like, haha funny, we're doing Wand of Gamelon to celebrate the start of the franchise. Zelda, as a franchise, is brilliant.
It is.
Early Zelda is unbelievable. So don't let this put you off.
Genuinely, it reminds me of, in the Newground days, and people would make really bad Flash parody games of famous series. It kind of reminded me of that.
Okay.
But, like, not in a good way.
There's a good way?
I don't know. Some of those games were okay, I suppose. But it was like...
Okay.
And I assume it's all canon, and the law's it's all creatures that come from the series. No?
Mostly, no.
For the most part, no, yeah.
So did Nintendo or anyone involved in Zelda have anything to fucking do with this game?
Not Nintendo, no. This was completely outsourced to Animation Magic.
Shocker.
Right, Tim, your thoughts?
I had fun with it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I actually had a good time with this game. And maybe it's because it took me an hour and a half to do, and maybe it's because it's my exact kind of humor, looking at the cutscenes, just weird and goofy and stupid. I didn't hate it. There were points that were definitely frustrating, like accidentally closing the game several times, and having an arbitrary life system where if you just die 3 times an area, you have to restart from the map screen was a choice. But do you know what? It saved progress. Every single time I was kicked from the map, it saved progress, so I didn't... It was just more of a minor inconvenience, so it didn't really faze me all too much. I thought the platforming was fine. I know what Alex is saying with how platforms are really... I mean, I'll admit they're not clear on the playable levels, but I think they're clear enough. There's slight texture variance. You can see the outlines of rocks or the slight colour change in the grass. Sometimes I was a bit taken surprised by what was and wasn't a platform, including crocodiles. But it was fun. Some of the items that you got were completely fucking useless, which again lends credit to the fact that I enjoyed it. I really liked the fact that the baker, who was stuck in a castle tower thing, gave me a loaf of bread to throw at some pterodactyls, and if I wanted more, I had to go back to his bakery and go and get more. Like, that sort of thing. Or the cloak that they really big up, being like, if you bring us fairy dust, we'll make your coat magic. And you bring them fairy dust, and it makes you jump further. I don't remember what they sounded like, but
yeah, I don't know, it was some old woman.
But if you bring the fairy dust, it's a coat that makes you jump further, but it's never needed. Ever. It felt like I was playing and almost cheating a Metroidvania in a way, because I was getting items and upgrades that should have aided me on my journey, but I just didn't need them. And do you know what? I think that's part of the fun. I think if you want to use the funny jumping cloak, go for it. If you want to use the cloak that turns you invisible, go for it. If you want to turn your sword into a rail gun after you beat the second boss of the game and just, beeline everything in a straight line in front of you, yeah, go for it. I had fun. And Payne asked me earlier if I would have more fun if I think this game would be better if it had a different art direction. I don't think it would. I think this game is so unique, for better or for worse, that it just stands out on its own so well, and there is nothing else like it.
For worse is what I'd say, Tim.
While he was playing it today, Tim sent us a voice message saying, "How the fuck do I pick items up?"
Yeah, you have to crouch and stab keys to pick them up.
Yeah.
That took a minute or two to work out.
And then at the same time we were talking about that, Penn sent me a message saying, "I'm watching Tim play this Zelda game and he keeps accidentally closing it. It's hilarious."
Wow. Wow.
Joey, what are your thoughts?
So I streamed my entire playthrough of the game. What I did want to ask is, Tim, I know you did. Alex, did you beat the game?
God, no.
How far did you get?
I beat the mummy in the tower.
The Gibno, yeah, where you throw a blanket at him.
Gibno. Yeah, I threw a cloak at him and he went, "Now I'm melting."
How long did that take you?
An hour?
An hour, okay. I played 2 hours of this game, and I did not finish it. I streamed my entire experience. So if you want to share with me my first introduction to Wand of Gamelon, head over to twitch.tv/GameClubPod. The VOD will remain there for a while. I might upload it to YouTube as well, just for funsies, because this game was not funsies. My playthrough was a split between swapping out the game and a walkthrough of the game so that I could work out what was a door and what wasn't a door. I found it so frustrating because I totally agree with Alex. The backgrounds on this game, although not the worst thing in it, were so bad that I missed entire sections that I needed to go through to progress the game because I thought they were just scenery. So the prime example is Tim's mate who says, "Oh, I'll make fairy dust for your cape," and then he's useless. If you go upstairs and stand on her windowsill for a window that is closed on the background, it's a door. And it opens up to the second half of the village, where you find the baker, the mummy, and someone else, someone who improves your sword. So without this walkthrough and me going, what the fuck do I do now? Because the other thing I really hated about this game is the only way that you could tell if you had done everything you needed to in an area, you clicked the back button and it would come up with an image of your mum,
Impa, who's like one of Hylian guard.
Impa, and she'd say, "Oh, no need to be here, dearie. You found everything." Why would they not just put something on the menu? So that the map is navigated. You are a cursor, and you click the area that you want to be in. Now, if they just had something there, like a star, you have done everything in this area. That would alleviate my frustration. But the first thing I did every single time I went to an area was open that menu. Because if it said, "You're done here, dearie," I'd just die as quick as I can so I could go back to the main menu. Because most of the time, you couldn't go back to the main menu without hitting the first checkpoint in the area. The items, Tim said some of them were useless. I think most of them were useless. They were never explained. One, how you pick them up. Josh from Talking Smack made a clip of me spending forever, including stabbing it like you're supposed to pick up the item for a key, and it just wouldn't work. And without that, I couldn't progress the game. I then found a lantern, and it's explained nowhere that you need to buy lantern oil. And then it's explained nowhere that the lantern lasts about 20 seconds. So I bought one lantern oil for an area that I thought no problem. And it ran out after I killed all the enemies. And I was in pitch black, having to basically feel my way around this area. I had no idea what it looked like to try and find a fucking door or to fall off and die. And that, I think, is the highlight of my experience with this game, because the voice acting is awful. Tim says you wouldn't change the art style. Tim, I think you're mental.
Oh, it's great.
Genuinely mental. It's not great. It's shite.
Oh, I love hand-drawn animation.
It's frustratingly bad. And do you know what else is awful about it? When you finish a cutscene is just a transparent layer over the scene that you're on, and then you carry on the game. But it doesn't seamlessly transition. You get 2 seconds of a freeze frame of the final face on that cutscene, and they are always haunting. Always.
They're terrifying.
I love them.
Something that's immensely triggering, and you get that every time. The buttons for menu, so you can change your item, are the same as enter door. So if you go into a dark room and think, "Oh, I need to change to my lantern here," your instinct is to press menu to change to your lantern, and you leave the room.
I found that if you couldn't open your inventory unless you were crouched.
I remapped my buttons, so no, sorry, I didn't do that because you couldn't do that on the CDI.
No.
And we all have it legitimately on the
Of
CDI.
course. My
It's
CDI is just
definitely-
too heavy to pick up right now to show the audience, but it's
Exactly,
there.
mine too.
But if you were going to, if you could, you'd have remapped the key.
Yes.
Yeah, if I was going to, I would have remapped the keys on my CDI, which I do have. But that I would say that helped, but it didn't. I didn't. This game was so fucking awful, and after that stream, I thought, in the walkthrough, I'm not that far off, so I'll just finish it off stream. And then I started playing again, and I thought, oh, I remember why I rage quit
Why am I
fucking
doing
stream,
this?
so I stopped. It took me about 5 minutes after stream. I think I'd calmed down and gone, maybe I'll finish it. And then I went, maybe I won't. So the game is so bad, it is unbelievable.
I can almost forgive them for the platforms fading into the background, but just put a fucking highlight around interactable objects. If the doors that you could go through and the things you could pick up had a coloured highlight around them, so that
Or something that says,
or something that says open.
yeah, press 2, open.
Yeah,
No problem.
because like you said, that closed window was not obvious at all. There was in the desert level, there's when you get to the end of the first bit of the desert, to continue you have to go, there's a hole in the rocks, but the hole's like 20 foot up from where you're stood, and you have to go through that way, and it's not immediately clear that that's where you have to go. So I went back to the start of it and went, right, well, I'm obviously done here, and I was like, where the hell have I gone? And things like
the other thing that was incredibly frustrating about this is it took the Zelda formula and went, we can do this, but blow it up 10 times. And blow it up is the choice I used. So the only way to get bombs was to buy bombs, right? You bought bombs, they cost 20 rupees, which rupees aren't hard to come by, but that gets you 5 bombs.
Can I interject here for a second? It's rubies in this.
No, somewhere it's rubies, somewhere it's rupees. And on the stream, when he goes, "You don't have the rubies," I'm like, "It's rupees, you fucking idiot." But so they're not hard to come by, but 20 is not a small amount, right? So you get 1 normally for killing an enemy. And I didn't know where the shop was for probably the first 45 minutes of my stream. So I found that I had about 400 rubies, peas, whatever you want them to be. So I went to the shop and spent willy-nilly.
ruby peas.
And I bought lantern oil, I bought loads of bombs, and then I left. And then I was going, how do I get up there? How do I get up there? And then in this walkthrough, they had rope that could climb. And even the fucking items that you buy in the shop are so blended into the background that I couldn't find them. That's a tangent. The thing I wanted to say is I was spending 20 rubies or peas on bombs, and then I'd take them to a rock that was obviously destructible because it was the only fucking thing that stood out from the background. And I thought, played a Zelda game, you put a bomb by it and it explodes. And I put a bomb by it and it exploded and nothing happened. The rock stayed there. So I went, okay, that's the Zelda formula, so I guess it's not explodable. And then I left. And then I checked the walkthrough. And you need to spend 40 rupees to buy enough bombs to blow up one of the rocks.
Yep.
You need 10 bombs to blow up a rock. In what world does that make sense?
It sometimes takes more than that in demolitions.
Tim, this is Zelda,
Yeah.
not a demolition.
Yeah, this is a train wreck, not a demolition.
There's
One
a
thing-
formula. Why not follow it?
One thing I particularly enjoyed about this, which Zelda is a series that has some very interesting boss fights that are largely puzzles for the most part. There's normally some sort of knack to hitting a weak spot or triggering an action of some sort. This was just try the item on the bad guy, and I loved it. I loved climbing to the top of Tokyo Tower or whatever it was called, and fighting an Iron Knuckle who said, "Haha, you shall never defeat me," and then I punched him in the stomach with a welded glove, and the people came out the stone walls and were like, "He's dead, we better leave," and then they left, and that was the level.
Why? So, I'm sorry, I will get onto story in a minute. We've used half an hour unedited time on this already. But why are some of the enemies... So the Triceratops is a standard enemy.
That's a
for some
Dodongo.
reason. But it's not a fucking Dodongo, it's a Triceratops.
It's a Dodongo.
We know what Dodongos look like, and it's not that. That is a Triceratops.
It's a Dodongo.
It's not a Dodongo.
It is a
So,
Dodongo.
Tim, we've seen Dodongos. They don't look like Triceratops.
It's a Dodongo.
I will get one. Get an image of
I
one.
was thinking,
in
I'll
any
get
other
one and
game.
show you.
I've got a Dodongo
Here's a
behind me.
Triceratops.
And it doesn't
It's
look
just
like a
Joey's
goddamn
dog with a mask
But why did they take about 30 hits to kill?
Because they drop
then-
a lot of money.
No. I'm not finished. Why do they take 30 hits to kill, but then bosses, one hit dead?
Because they're
Every
a
boss,
puzzle.
one hit dead.
They're a puzzle.
But they're not
Throw a
puzzle.
cloak at someone is not a puzzle.
Yeah, it's use the item that the NPC told you about. It's important to remember the context clues and try things. Impa tells you that you can't defeat Ganon without the wand, and as soon as you get the wand, you just throw it at him and he's dead.
It's a boss, Tim.
But so you wouldn't be able to do it with anything else. You can't hit him with a sword, aside from the Gleok, which you can hit with a sword.
So, I've just posted a picture in the chat of a Dodongo. That is not a Triceratops.
That's a weird-looking Triceratops.
That is a Dodongo from another game. You could put the two together and say they're the same thing. It is not a fucking Triceratops.
That first one you posted is just the official 2D art for Ocarina of Time, which is where the second one has come from.
That's fine. That's what a Dodongo looks like. Although, I'm very annoyed now because I am looking at this image, and all of this is really good for the audio listener. But in an early Zelda, a remake of an early Zelda game, that's a fucking Dodongo.
Yeah.
And that's quite literally a Triceratops.
Yeah, although that is absolutely someone's Unity or Unreal Engine fan remake.
Either way, it's not a Triceratops. So, guys, the story of Wand of Gamelon. This won't take long because the story is so face level. It's unbelievable. You start the game, and the king is having a paddy about something, and he says, "I'm going to go to Gamelon and fight Ganon." And Zelda says, "No, don't. You'll die." And he says, "If I'm not back in a month," why a month? And send Link. But she doesn't send Link. She sends herself.
No, Link does go.
Does he?
Yeah.
The only thing I remember of Link, the only time I saw Link in this game is when he said, "I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorok."
Not a thing that you do in Zelda, by the way.
I'm so hungry I could eat a Dodongo. So, Link goes, apparently. So does Zelda and Impa, who is an old lady with a magic triangle.
That's the
that
Triforce
sees...
of Wisdom.
But it's not the Triforce.
It
The
is
Triforce
in this
is
game.
three things. It's Triforce.
Yeah, but this is one of them.
What was the Triforce in Ocarina of Time? Because it wasn't wisdom.
It's always
Tax.
wisdom, courage, and
Strength, isn't it?
sriracha
yes,
mayo
it
or
is.
something. I don't know.
Sriracha mayo.
So
Sriracha mayo,
takes-
barbecue, and hot honey.
Zelda and Impa take the Triforce of Sriracha Mayo to Gamelon, and then you go and you beat up people because Impa says everyone's sad if you don't beat up people. You travel across Gamelon's towers and dungeons. You help villagers collect items and defeat Ganon's monsters. Were they Ganon's monsters?
They're always Ganon's monsters, like Gibdos
Well, I know
and
they
Jeans.
are in the game, but does it ever say that they're Ganon's monsters? Because I don't remember them saying it.
No, they're just kind of there. They're basically like,
Okay.
the common pigeon.
You so you as Zelda take an old lady with a triangle to a faraway land and beat up pigeons, and then you find Ganon and kill him with a stick, and that's it. That's the end of the game. Peace is restored and the king is saved.
Well, no, hang on.
Zelda's fallen out of Ganon's castle, knocked ahead, and this has all been like a concussion dream.
But
Yeah.
like at the end of the game, you go back to Hyrule, and the king's like, "Oh, you did it! You saved me!" And there's this woman who goes, "I wonder what happened to Link," as she's holding a mirror, and it's never explained who this woman is. And Zelda goes, "Quit looking at yourself so much in the mirror," and then she throws the mirror, and Link falls out of the mirror.
What?
Yeah, he's stuck in a mirror the whole time, I guess.
Oh god, it is actually just a fever dream, isn't it?
Isn't Faces of Evil like what happened in Link's version of it?
No, separate story.
Do you play as Link in that?
Yes. There's a brilliant line where the game introduces you to crouch walking in the Faces of Evil, because crouch walk is a thing you can do in this game. And Link goes, "If you make me crouch and walk, I will do the duck walk," and it's all I could hear when walking around a Zelda while crouched.
Okay, well that's the whole story. Link falls out of a mirror, and that's the end, right?
Game over.
Yeah, game over. So, boys, what was your favourite moment in this game?
Oh, every cutscene. Every cutscene.
If you had you have to choose one.
I mean, the classic "You've killed me" good is a really good one. I am also a big fan of it. I'm gonna branch over to paint with a broad brush here and say the thing with every cutscene that I particularly enjoyed was the fact that no one can stand still. The camera and the perspective is constantly skewing and shifting in new and interesting ways that I didn't think were possible.
Nice.
Alex?
Alex?
I mean, the one that sticks in my head, which I suppose means it's gonna have to be my favourite, is there's two. There's when you throw the shroud at Global or whatever his name was. He goes, "I'm melting," and then in caption it says "dramatic organ music." That's pretty good. And then there's a bit where you save a fisherman halfway through, and you go back to Sakura or wherever the hell it is he lives, and you go into a blacksmith shop, and he's there, and you talk to him, and he's like, "I'm a blacksmith now."
Hold on, Alex. Hold on. He says,
Look, I got a new job.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's
And then he
it.
freeze frames on it, and then he hits a rock with a hammer and goes, "Look, your sword is now a gun."
No, when you're in the cutscenes and they say something, and then they just like get really close up to the camera, and it's horrific every single time. It doesn't matter who does it; it's horrific because they've got like this evil like grin on their face. And honestly, I've got new sleep paralysis demons from it.
Can
What
I,
about
can
the
I
three
just
witches
remind you
that were
that
blown
the
away with
point
a
that
tornado?
the question I asked here was what your favourite part was.
What about the witches that were blown away in a tornado in the fairy fountain? That was great.
I
Didn't get
didn't
it.
see that.
Ah,
Yeah, and why was the fairy fountain outdoors in the day and
pitch black.
still pitch black? I didn't get it.
Just
I
was.
didn't
I didn't
get it.
get most of the game, to be honest with you.
So I liked some of the music. Some of the music was
The
fine.
menu, like the map music slapped. It was
The
so
map
good.
music I used, if you listen carefully back to our intro, the second half of it is the map music. The first half is the fairy fountain from Ocarina of Time, which has infinitely better music. But it is what it is. So that was my favourite part of the game, is comparing the music to better Zelda games.
I love the fact that this game, this and Faces of Evil, are technically the first Zelda games with voice acting.
They are. Yeah, they are. And it's just... wow. Isn't it good?
Wow.
Isn't it good? Just a reminder of what that sounds like.
Look, I got a new job.
There you go. So
I got a new job.
I saved that voice clip as what the devs of this game needed to say after its release. So there you go. And then I wanted to ask you guys. I've saved another thing as well. I don't know why I've saved this voice clip, but I have. So let's hear it out. This is one that I believe made me laugh out loud.
Let's see. That ought to do it. Looks pretty good.
That's the blacksmith
the same
upgrading
guy.
your sword using a heat crystal that you find in like an anthill or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I did like in this game, so some of the music is good. I did like how the map, you had a few areas you could go to that were terrible, and then you unlocked more terrible areas. But the way that you could unlock those terrible areas is going through the entirety of the previous terrible area and clicking a button to say, I've done this area. But the thing I really liked about it is it never actually told you where the area that you unlocked was. You just had to like blindly scroll across a PNG of Gamelon to
Keep up.
until it just said. And that was when I was going into these areas and thinking, is that the one that I just unlocked? No, she's telling me, Davey, you've done this area. So I'd leave, and then I'd find another place and think, is this the place I've unlocked? No, because there's quite a lot of areas by the end of it.
I think there's about 12 or 15 areas total.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, do you guys have any further thoughts on Wand of Gamelon?
No.
It's great, actually. I would genuinely go back and play this. That's not me just like shit posting either. I actually had a good time with it.
Okay, good. So, we're going to do our usual mainline episode. It's not mainline, Alex, is it? It's not mainline.
No.
Game Club episodes. And we're going to do scores on the gameplay, the audiovisual, and the story. So, I am going to start off with Tim. What did you think of the gameplay?
I mean, it's bad. Like, I know I had a great time with the game, but everything about this game is bad. Like, down to the core. I think for gameplay, I would maybe go with a 3.
Okay, and that's being generous.
This is me being generous, because in terms of the gameplay loop, it's very much like tropes through the area till you find an object that looks a little bit different, then watch a wacky cutscene and do it all over again. And that's about it.
Yeah, so 3 from Tim. Alex?
1.
1.
I'm not going to give zeros because that's a bit harsh, because some level of work might have gone into this.
This is an interactable form of media, so it is a game.
Yeah, by definition, it's a game.
Okay. 1. I'm going to give it a 2.
Oh.
So 2 out of 10. 1 out of 10 from Alex and 3 out of 10 from Tim. We'll go different order. Alex, audio and visual. He's going to go 1 again, isn't he?
No, because the visuals were horrifying.
The visuals were visuals.
The visuals were certainly something, but the music, it wasn't good music, but it was fine. So 3? Yeah,
Okay.
3.
Nice, a significant improvement on your 1 for the previous round.
Yeah.
Tim?
You guys are gonna shout at me for this. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Hell.
So let's be real. The reason you're coming to this game is the goofy cutscenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that in and of itself isn't worthy of high enough praise for it to be so shit post worthy that like that is the sole draw of the game, I don't know why. Like, why that wouldn't warrant
A
high praise.
7.5.
Tim, if we'd been running this scale since we started all this shite show, you'd have probably given Baldur's Gate 7.5 for audio. You'd have probably given, I don't know, there's so many games that we've done that you would have given a 7.5, and it'd have been like, do you know what? Justifiable. Absolutely. You know, this.
So, hear me out.
This.
The cutscenes were my exact humour of just being goofy and weird. I like the soundtrack for the most part.
You're scoring it highly because it's bad, and you like bad.
Because it's fun. And that's what a video game needs to be, is fun.
I hate you.
Told you you'd yell at me. But like I liked a lot of the soundtrack. I thought the voice acting was campy and dumb, and I loved the animation because it was goofy and weird. I thought some of the enemy designs, while not great, were trying something different and new with the series. Looking at the Triceratops Dodongo and Ganon as some sort of mollusk in a cape. It was interesting and different and goofy, and I love it. I'm not backing down from the 7.5.
7.5. Wow. I'm gonna go 4 because it was bad and definitely nowhere near a 7.5. What I will give it is, if I saw a screenshot of one of the cutscenes, I would know it was Wand of Gamelon or Faces of Evil.
It's distinct.
But distinct
So
does
Jeffrey
not
Dahmer.
mean good. Distinct does not translate to good.
It's iconic.
It can mean good. It can mean good, but it doesn't necessarily mean good. So I give it a 4 out of 10. And then finally, story, I'm going to go first. 2, because there is a story, and it happens-ish. So, Tim?
Also a 2.
Okay, good. Alex?
Yeah, sure, why not? Give it a 2.
Okay, great. So that, for me, gives me an average score of 2.6 out of 10, which I think is fair. Alex?
I'm going to try really hard to add 1, 2, and 3 together and get an average. It's 2.
Okay, good. Tim?
4.2. Hate me, hate me all you want. Hate the player, not the game.
Do you know what the worst thing about this is? Tim's 4.2 boosts it to a 2.9 overall.
Oh,
Which, do you know, I don't hate. It's not.
it's about right.
But it's very rare on this podcast that we play a game and I think, I could probably do a better job. So, guys.
Open RPG Maker ZX and just make something.
One of the first things I ever made in Python when I was learning Python was like a D&D choose your own adventure thing, and I think this might have had more interactions than this.
But you gave it 4.2 overall.
Yeah,
Tim.
but the gameplay I was low on.
But I don't like you.
Let's have a look. I'm going to look at our old schedule. Hang on. 2025. Let's
God.
4.2, yeah, Tim?
4.2.
To be fair, the closest you've got to that was Timberborn at 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, Heavy Rain's a 4.
Yep.
So you're saying this is better than Heavy Rain?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Heavy Rain, I was bored to tears with. This, I at least had a few giggles.
No, there's a difference. This was an hour and a half long.
That's true. That
If
is
this
a
was the
massive
length of Heavy
contributor.
Rain, if this was the length of Heavy Rain, I think it would be a 1 out of 10.
It might force me to pull my hair out, but
Oh, here we go.
that's the point. The game didn't outstay its welcome.
I found the historic scores sheet. What was our total?
2.9.
2.9.
2.9. Hunt Down the Freeman was a 2.
This is better than Hunt Down the Free.
Pokemon Snap N64 was 2.67.
That wasn't a great game.
Yeah, but I think this might be better. No, Pokemon Snap might be better than this.
Duke Nukem Forever was 1.5.
No, Duke Nukem Forever's better than this.
Other than that,
What?
Sunset
2.
Overdrive 5.7.
On reflection, that's quite harsh. Alex, can I ask a question? Do you have the score for Unpacking?
Yes, it's right here. 4.83.
Do you have the score that isn't split 3 ways?
No, it just has the total. Or the
Okay.
average, sorry.
So I think between me and Tim, we scored Unpacking lower than this game. And I would agree.
I would
with that.
rather play this than Unpacking.
I agree. Alex, have you ever played Unpacking?
No, but I've seen enough of it
Save-
to know that I
save
would
the
be
time.
bored
What
to
would
tears.
you give it out of 10?
Oh, like a 1.
Okay, great. Game Club Pod highly recommends Wand of Gamelon over Unpacking. So, Tim, what I want you to do, you played Unpacking on Steam, right?
Yes.
Can you leave a Steam review that says, I would rather play Wand of Gamelon?
Crazy thing is, he's already done that.
Unpacking. Oh, no, I played on Game Pass.
Oh, that's a shame.
Bruh.
That's a shame. Oh, well. Okay, cool. Anything else you want to say, guys?
Do yourself a favour and look up the cutscenes and you'll see what I mean.
I agree with Tim. It's an experience.
So this is part of a new thing that Joey wants to do on this podcast, where when games or series are having major anniversaries, we come together and we discuss our experiences with it, and we place or watch or do something related to that series. This is what you've got to look forward to. If this was a pilot of a TV show, we'd be shot.
Can I say something controversial?
Yeah?
I like the episode. I've enjoyed doing the episode.
The episode's been cracking, but Jesus Christ. I'll
But
kill
that's
you if you
my
make me play
point. The
that.
controversy and the argument and the friction is good content. Right. So what I'm going to
I
say.
told Tim I
final-
hate him.
Well, I mean, you say that quite often, to be
I'm
honest.
pretty
with
numb
you.
to it, to be fair.
So what I will say is, don't let our episode of Wand of Gamelon sour your experience of The Legend of Zelda, a truly iconic and unbelievable game series that has lasted 40 years. That's more than all of us, apart from Alex, in our age. Yeah, I cannot recommend going and playing any Legend of Zelda game apart from this and Faces of Evil. You will have a good time. Even if it's the one from 40 years ago, it still stands up today. So, thank you very much, Zelda. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex.
I've got a new job.
And I've been Joey. This has been our anniversary special for Zelda, and we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think on our Discord, our Twitter. Twitter is what, Alex?
Game Club Pod?
At Game Club Pod. Tim, what's our Twitch?
Game Club Pod.
At Game Club Pod. Very, very good. We don't use any of the others that much, so don't worry about it. You can find our Discord over on our Twitch, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Game Club Podcast. See you later, everyone. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
stopping by.